talk about Stephanie Jenkins. And I know everybody's sitting here and they're like, oh my God, what can someone possibly say? I just want to know if everyone would like to really help Stephanie's children for free. For free. Doesn't cost a damn penny. And I want everybody to share this video because it's getting out of hand and it's getting to be too much.
Let me give you the scoop on what's been stirring up serious concern online. This whole situation with Stephanie Jenkins, a woman who proudly calls herself a mom of 7 on TikTok. But lately, it's not the motherhood content that's catching people's attention. It's the shocking conditions she's chosen to showcase. Stephanie and her partner Joe have made the questionable decision to live in a cramped one-room motel with 5 of their 7 children. And they're not just surviving there quietly, they're putting it all over the internet as if it's something to be proud of. They've managed to transform this tiny, overstuffed room into a makeshift home, complete with random decor and dangerous setups. There are cooking appliances like hot plates and deep fryers shoved into tight corners, surrounded by flammable materials and overcrowded with food and clutter.
Living in a motel as a family of 7. Now this hit us right at spring break, and it's been a little bit challenging finding ways to entertain the kiddos. And I know I've seen all the comments about y'all saying, oh, kids aren't supposed to be resilient. Now, while I fully agree that our living situation is not ideal for any of us,
There's even a dream catcher hanging on the wall, trying to give the space a homely feel. But let's be real, nothing about this situation screams homey. It's less of a temporary fix and more like they've fully settled into the chaos. This isn't just about a family going through a rough patch. Stephanie and Joe appear comfortable in this environment, acting like this kind of unstable, overcrowded, and unsafe living situation is perfectly fine. They've been in this motel for well over 2 weeks, which is way beyond a few nights of hardship. That's 2 full weeks, possibly more, of 5 kids crammed into a single room, with no privacy, no space, and no indication that they're actively working toward a better living situation. Instead of using that time to find stable work or secure housing, these 2 adults, yes, adults, are hanging out, living off of vibes and TikTok attention.
you're miserable. You see our situation as miserable, and we just don't see it like that. I also seen y'all had an issue with us being positive mindset about it. Like, this lady is positive mindset for what? She should be miserable. Because if commenter number 8,852 grew up in a big family, and
Stephanie continues to upload curated videos, trying to paint their reality as some sort of cozy family bonding retreat. The music is calming, the filters are flawless, and the captions are full of positivity and self-love slogans. She talks about staying strong and manifesting better days, but there's no sign of action, just affirmations. And let's be honest, positive energy won't pay the bills. You can't pay rent with intentions. Even more troubling, Stephanie has gone online to defend herself against critics, insisting they're trying to find a home. But how can anyone take that seriously when neither she nor Joe has a steady job or any clear plan? They're clinging to a dream without taking the real-world steps to make it happen. And meanwhile, 5 kids are stuck in the middle of their denial. Those kids aren't just characters in a video, they're real, growing children who need structure, safety, and consistency. Instead, they're waking up every day in a small, stuffy room that's overflowing with clothes, food, toys, and stress. It's not just uncomfortable, it's unhealthy and potentially dangerous. Stephanie even mentioned that one morning all of them woke up coughing, like it was no big deal.
part of the children's existence. Surely that's got to be the case for the resilient Jenkins. That's just not the case here. Are we perfect? Fuck no. Like any other family, we butt heads from time to time, and these siblings be sibling. But at the end of the day, we are each other's safe space in every way.
But that's a huge red flag. Poor air quality, possible mold, limited ventilation, those are serious health concerns, especially for young children and infants. And the sanitation, it's practically non-existent. Dishes are being washed in the bathtub, food is stored inches from power outlets, and the room is so crowded it's hard to tell what's clean and what's not. There's no order, no separation between what's safe and what's not, and yet it's all being recorded and posted like it's normal. What's even harder to watch is the emotional toll this is likely taking on the kids. They're not just physically boxed in, they're emotionally stuck in an unstable environment. Every day is a reminder that their family has no secure home, no clear plan, and no boundaries between their personal life and the public eye. Stephanie mentioned that the move happened over spring break, so they had more time together. But let's be honest, it also gave her more time to film and upload their lives for content. These kids are being exposed during one of the most vulnerable times of their lives. Instead of being taught how to work through hardship or strive for something better, they're watching their parents normalize stagnation. They're being shown that pretending things are fine is more important than actually making things better. That living in a chaotic, fire-risked motel room can somehow be just life. And that's heartbreaking. Stephanie and Joe might even be enjoying this motel life on some level. There's no rent to worry about, no utility bills, no long-term responsibilities. Just recording videos and pretending everything's okay. But it's not okay. It's dangerous, and what's worse, it's being broadcast to the world as though it's inspirational. Deep
Is something that kids do right before bedtime. They all plan their dreams so that they can dream together. They have a countdown because they insist they have to go to sleep at the same time for their dreams to connect. And now in our current situation, Drew and I have been joining the dream party. And tonight's dream we got planned is a real-life cloud with a chance of maple.
frying food next to a toddler's mattress isn't creative. It's careless. It's not resilience. It's denial. What we're watching unfold online isn't just a family sharing moments. It's children living through real hardship being turned into a spectacle. Their pain, confusion, and vulnerability are being used as content under the disguise of motherhood. These aren't memories captured for photo albums or private keepsakes. These are intimate moments of struggle uploaded for public consumption, their trauma becoming entertainment for strangers. And once something hits the internet, it doesn't go away. These clips, these videos, they become permanent. They're shared, stitched, saved. And the kids,
Jenkins have been in the motel for about 16 days, and they're literally putting up wall decorations. I don't know about y'all, but I would not be trying to make a motel room my home by putting shit up on the wall. And Stephanie says that they're finding housing, but what does that mean? Because y'all technically have no income. And yes, social media is an income, but I doubt they file taxes, so that's technically not income.
they're recognizable. Their faces, their expressions, their clothes, even the rundown motel they're living in. It's all visible. It's all available for anyone to see. So when they return to school, classmates have already seen it all. They've watched it, talked about it, maybe even laughed at it. Imagine being a child, walking into a room knowing everyone saw you at your lowest. That's not just uncomfortable, it's devastating. School can already be harsh, but now the teasing and gossip aren't about rumors or missteps.
Why is there a tail hanging from the ceiling? The only reason there would be a tail hanging from a ceiling is to cover up the smoke detector. So you're covering the smoke detector, I think, and then you are using a deep fryer, right?
They're rooted in your actual life, your poverty, your family's instability. Kids can be mean, but in this case, the cruelty starts at home. Because the people responsible for these children's safety didn't protect them, they exposed them. Their struggles weren't hidden or handled gently. They were filmed, edited, and posted with captions. Some might argue, well, they're just trying to get by. But that doesn't excuse turning a child's suffering into a storyline. Kids aren't immune to this. They see what's happening. They feel the judgment, their experiences, their heartaches, their embarrassment. It's all been packaged into viral moments. What should be private is now out there for clicks, for comments.
Outlet. Why not an air fryer? Does this woman know how fast the deep fryer with hot oil in a one-bedroom hotel with 7 small children could turn into a literal disaster in seconds? Next to all these outlets, this is terrifying. You wouldn't even be able to safely get 7 people out of a hotel.
For strangers to dissect and mock. And all the while, Stephanie keeps filming, as if none of this will leave a scar, as if these aren't real kids being shaped by these very moments. She seems to think that because she feeds them and gives them a place to sleep, she's doing her job. But that's not parenting, that's the bare minimum. And when you add public shaming and digital exposure to that bare minimum, it crosses into emotional neglect. Feeding them doesn't erase the damage of broadcasting their lives for content. In fact, it multiplies the harm. These kids don't need views. They need protection. They need peace. They need someone to put the phone down and truly see them, not as characters in a narrative, but as children in need of care. It's tragic that they're not getting that, especially from the person who should be their anchor.
It's on fire. Like, This is crazy. For the people that are going to say, why do you care? Why do you care? Because this is nonsense, not normal. You do not get evicted from your apartment and you think to take your deep fryer to a hotel room. Like a rotisserie chicken is $5 and won't kill you. This will kill you. This is insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments.
And the most heartbreaking part, they've started retreating into their dreams. Stephanie shared a video explaining that her children now plan out their dreams together before bed so they can meet there while they sleep. Just pause for a second. These are children, young and fragile, coordinating imaginary worlds so they can feel close, safe, and happy because their reality doesn't give them any of that. They've built a fantasy world where they can escape the stress and chaos around them. But instead of recognizing this as a deep emotional red flag, Stephanie talks about it like it's adorable, like it's some quirky sibling game. But this isn't whimsical, it's heartbreaking. These kids are running from their pain the only way they know how, through their imagination. It's not just play, it's a survival mechanism. They're desperately trying to feel connected, to feel free. And Stephanie treats it like a sweet bedtime anecdote to share online, as if their silent suffering is something to be proud of. These aren't characters in a book or scenes in a feel-good movie.
I don't think that she's a horrible mom, but I do think she's too caught up with Drew and she needs to leave him. Because sometimes moms can focus on the wrong thing, like a man, and neglect their children in the process, and I think that's what she's doing. I don't think she's a horrible mom because her kids seem to...
They're real children searching for comfort, for consistency, for normalcy. That's not something you upload for clout. It's something you respond to with urgency and action. But instead of taking a hard look at what's going wrong, Stephanie keeps posting, keeps chasing engagement, keeps hoping the algorithm will save them. Maybe she believes that the more she posts, the closer she gets to a paycheck. Maybe she's banking on a viral moment changing everything. But that's not how it works. TikTok fame isn't a sustainable financial plan. You can't rely on unpredictable internet traffic to provide long-term stability. You can't build a future on fleeting attention. And even when money does come in, it's inconsistent, unreliable. You can't raise 5 children on hopes and hashtags. And what's worse, there's no effort to change course. No job applications, no side hustles, no shifts picked up, nothing. They're on the internet daily, so it's not like they don't know how to find work. Stephanie says Joe can't work due to health issues, but what about her? There are so many jobs available right now, from night shifts and warehouse gigs to remote roles and delivery work. Even a few hours a week doing something would make a difference. Anything would be better than doing nothing while pretending this lifestyle is okay.
She does her whatever and all that stuff. So I don't think she's a terrible mom. There are definitely worse moms out there, but she needs to put her focus on the right thing, which would be her kids. And I don't think her focus is 100% on her kids right now. If she was focused on her kids and she would do anything for her kids, then she would find a better man. Because
instead of trying something different, they continue doing the same thing over and over, relying on sympathy, hoping people will donate, will comment, will care. But sympathy doesn't build a foundation. It doesn't give those kids a future. Even picking up part-time work at a local shop would show more responsibility than what we're seeing now. They're performing domestic tasks like peeling potatoes and calling it progress. But that's not an income, it's just preparing dinner. It's being framed as some great achievement when really, it's just another day in survival mode, dressed up as content. The real problems remain unaddressed. The core issue, lack of financial stability, lack of effort, lack of accountability, is still there. And all the while, the kids are still stuck in that motel room, still being filmed, still being ignored where it really counts. And as Stephanie continues posting, hoping for her big break, the cycle keeps spinning, leaving her children to bear the weight of it all. At this point, it's not even about them struggling anymore. It's about them not even trying. When someone says, "We're doing our best,"
so I think she's just too caught up and entangled in her love, or infatuation. I don't think it's love. Infatuation for Drew, to realize. I think she's blinded right now.
But that best doesn't involve actively looking for a job, seeking stable housing, or prioritizing their children's emotional and physical well-being. Then it's not their best at all. It's just what's comfortable for them. And what's worse is they've convinced themselves that this low bar they've set is somehow good enough. It's not. They can't just post videos and hope that strangers will donate money out of sympathy. That's not responsibility. That's not a plan. And when people call them out, it isn't hate, it's accountability. Honest observations from people who care more about the kids than clicks. And the criticism keeps growing because nothing ever changes. Stephanie and Joe are in decent health. They're physically capable, mentally capable, but they just don't act like it.
Because I've actually thought about this and considered this myself. I really thought about it. Because let's be honest. When you're worried about getting your kids taken away, you're not going to go on the internet putting all of this.
That's what frustrates people the most, not the struggle itself, but the refusal to put in effort or evolve. There are families out there who've had even less, who've been in worse situations, and still found a way to keep pushing forward. Some have worked multiple jobs, walked miles to get to a shift, skipped meals just so their kids could eat, even slept in their cars, and still got up every morning determined to improve their situation. Meanwhile, the Jenkins family is still in that same cramped motel room, surrounded by unsafe appliances, filming TikToks instead of submitting job applications, acting like the world owes them a house. But the world doesn't owe them anything. What the world does owe is to their children, a safe environment, opportunities to grow, a life that doesn't include being collateral damage in their parents' pursuit of internet fame. The parents. They're the ones who should be fighting for those things, and right now, they're not. Their kids are still dreaming their way out of their situation, still finding comfort in sleep because waking life is too painful, still trying to stretch their minds inside a space too small to grow in. And what shapes their reality now? Every TikTok video, every comment, every cough, every moment shared online instead of shared in private, with love and care. The line between family life and content has been blurred to the point where it's unrecognizable. So, let's be real, do these TikTok videos honestly bring in enough money to support a new home? Is this sudden surge in posting about securing an income?
That's what you want. I would think if you was going through a hard time and you didn't want to risk getting your kids taken away because you know your situation isn't the best for the children at the time, you would be doing everything in your power to keep that quiet. And I think that's something to think about.
Or is it possibly an attempt to build a case for something else, like trying to file for child support from Drew? People are asking, and they have a right to. Because while Stephanie keeps uploading, her kids are still living in that small room, still imagining better lives in their dreams just to get by. They deserve more than this. They deserve action. They deserve parents who put them first, who fight for a better future rather than filming the pain they're living through. These kids didn't choose this life. They didn't sign up to be part of someone's struggling influencer journey. They didn't consent to be shown online every day, coughing in the background, lying on motel beds, performing for a camera that never turns off. They deserve clean air. They deserve privacy. They deserve parents who stop chasing attention and start building a life. The real heartbreak isn't even the poor decisions, it's the refusal to make better ones, the comfort in dysfunction, the denial so deep that even their kids' silence, their escapism, their invisible cries aren't being seen. Stephanie, your kids are speaking, but not with words. They're communicating through quiet moments, through their escape into dreams, through the space between their needs and your phone screen. And you're still filming, still calling this survival a lifestyle, still packaging up the struggle as if hashtags and curated captions will fix what's broken. Your children don't need more videos. They need you to do better. Not just for the algorithm, for them. Don't forget to like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe if you want more videos that speak on real issues with honesty.